kick into this is kind of an open discussion type thing. We had a real good meeting about a month ago in here and talked about the different things we thought we could do for the 225th birthday of the county, commemoration day of the county. I called it birthday and got a lot of ridicule from some of the fellow commission. We ain't having no, like damn birthday party for county money. We had a commemoration period, so. With that said, we talked about our picture boards and you saw those outside. Here comes Diane. Thank you for being on time, Diane. I'm getting board price right now. I know we're gonna have at least 54 befores and they will be for Statesville, Watertown, Lebanon, Dogoville, Possumtown and other communities around the county. And what we've asked is, and did at the last meeting is Linda is having the picture books.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't bring one with you, did you?
No, I didn't.
Having the photograph, and she's done an excellent job of them. She's having them single-sided.
You still have that sign outside the door there.
I know. Single-sided printed, so we'll have both sides we can use. And what we want is the Statesville people to put Statesville pictures up that's meaningful to them and talk about it during churches, bands, people,
All
whatever.
communities that we get pictures of.
I'm sorry?
Every community that we got pictures of.
Right, I talked, who did I talk to? I think it was Statesville folks that talked about, they had a lot of pictures of churches and stuff that we don't have that they wanted to bring. I said, we'll just make copies of them, put them up, that's not a problem. We're talking about the commemoration day is 26th day of October. We're talking about having it set up the 24th and 25th, for, I understand, fourth graders. Megan, is that right?
Yes.
Megan, tell everybody who you are, Megan. She's with the school system, Jeff. Sent her over here.
Let me tell you who you are.
Do what?
I said, tell them who you are. Let me tell you. Let me tell you who you are.
She represents Wilson County Schools. We've got 470 fourth graders that study history in the city of Lebanon schools, and you got how many fourth graders? You ain't got a clue, do you?
I have a clue, but it's
Okay.
very rough.
Get-
Between
give me-
15 and 1600.
15, 1600, so 2,000 students, 1,000 on the Thursday and 1,000 on the Friday, and then we have commemoration day. Why are you on the back road? You're supposed to be up front. So anyway, and in that, you gonna put my picture up there?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sorry. In that we wanted to have those kids come through, and yesterday we had a little meeting and we were talking about having a coin made, a wooden coin that stamps, Wilson County 225th celebration with that symbol on it. Thank you, Diane. With that symbol on one side and and we really need our people to art classes to kind of think through this, because I raised cows and jumped out of airplanes. I don't want to think about art, okay? And I'm just going over
Raising
a few
airplanes,
things.
jumping out of cows.
We asked Mary, I guess you guys come to kind of refer, she called me yesterday, or I called her, and she said, what about Mount Dew Water? I said, anything you want to bring, it doesn't matter, we're going to post it, put it, talk about it. We have when we get the picture up, we have the big, what are you laughing at? Yes, you are, you're laughing at me. It's not nice to laugh at the elders, okay?
We were picturing cows and you jumping out of C-130s.
Yeah, well,
All
no.
together.
At any rate, we have the pageant pavilion, and we very much like, sometime during the day, have a Watertown band play, the Lebanon band play, Lebanon High School. Mount Dew. If you work that out, they may be in competition. We really don't know. This is still part of the planning meeting, et cetera, et cetera. But Mayor Hutto wants to have speakers, a speaking bureau there to talk about the different aspects of history. Mayor Bales knows the history of Lebanon. We got somebody in Mount Juliet. I can talk about the county. You can talk about the county. I can talk about veterans. But to have that's in the agenda has yet to be provided once we find out who all can be involved. Cumberland University got 30 congressmen, half a dozen senators, 2 people on the United States Supreme Court that are in Cumberland. They're gonna put all that together for today, and we're, and I'm getting all this priced out right now. We want at least 50 of those 4x4 boards, and the ladies at the fair have got the, what do you call those, A-frames?
Sandwich boards.
I guess, I don't know, yeah, they
Yeah.
stand up, yeah, it's all 32 by whatever. I'm pricing those out with, Lanny Jewel Sign Company to make things on there, and I'll give you examples. And
Is
we,
that the ones we're gonna put the pictures on our books?
could be, yeah.
We need to,
This
we'll
is
need
Ken-
those fairly early because they'll have to be put on there, you know.
Right. This is Ken Beck's book. Does everybody know Ken Beck? Not know Ken Beck? Ken Beck, this whole thing is about Wilson County. Got little facts about Wilson County. And it, on the back of it said, did you know, and I just shared one with you, I'll share it with everybody. Did you know that the 7th President of the United States in 1802 owned a law office, land office on the public square in Lebanon, Tennessee? He had to ride his horse from the Hermitages into Wilson County to the bottom of Scotts Hollow Hill to get his mail. He owned more land in Wilson County. How much land did he own? Thousands of acres, because he bought land grants and sold land grants, and that's the way he made his money. So we'll have that written down here. Scott, where are you?
Right.
Show these people what else we talked about.
This one on the phone?
Yeah, no,
The,
it's all. Show it.
So we'll sit in here, maybe we get this running, I'll show you, but
Did
instead of
you-
just doing,
Did you fed it too?
I can, as soon as he's trying to get that airtime thing up and running, once he does
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Instead of doing just like, I heard Jerry talking to Joel Sign this morning and almost had a heart attack. Instead of just doing text on a board, we can go through and select individual images. But what we really need to get going, and maybe if anybody's got access to a friend or colleague that does really good graphic design stuff, we really need to get moving on like unified things for advertising stuff. So like some kind of a logo, fonts, colors, schemes, all that kind of stuff, like a little media kit. So then as we're designing this stuff, everybody doing their own thing, they know, use this font, use this color, use this thing, rubber stamp it exactly, make it just look all together the same. We've kind of been playing around with this thing Jerry's got here.
Stand up.
The governor, back a couple years ago, was the 225th anniversary of Tennessee. The governor's office put together this series of 3 posters. They had all the different counties there and the regions for the grand divisions. If we could come up with something like that, and something I haven't said to Jerry out loud yet, but I'd like to pitch to everybody. As we get all this information together, all these boards, graphics, all these different things, if we can catalog them digitally and make like an ebook out of them, we could easily offer that to folks that show up that day, and it wouldn't cost us anything. We wouldn't have to print the books or do anything like that. We could say we have like a commemorative digital ebook or something and just put it out, and all that stuff could be on there. And then when they're there walking through these exhibits and things throughout the grove and on the grounds, it would be like walking through all of that information in person. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
But again, like instead of just doing text only, let's pictures, unified graphics as far as like little text boxes and things that can all be printed nice and neat and clean and looks unified, so that then as we put all these things together in a book, it all has a nice format. It's not like this weird 10-point font over here and this weird 30-point font over here, blah, blah, right? Okay. And so anybody knows a designer, maybe the school's got a really talented kid in high school and really wants to help out, we'd love to have the help.
So we're gonna need 2,000 little wooden mementos for the kids. This is the original, as I know it, history written by Drake, and it was written of history of Wilson County. It was written in 1879, reprinted in 19.
Is that the Goodspeeds?
No. It reprinted in 1976, and it's a worn-out copy I got from her, and I can't find mine at home. I'm getting this price to get it reprinted, to have it available, because it talks about the communities in that day and time and not the communities in this day and time. So that's being done. Now, with that said, hopefully we'll get our picture of the Fiddler's Grove up in a minute, but we got $30,000 of county money to put this on, and if I have to go ask for more, we can, but part of that's gonna be to reprint what she wants, part of it's gonna be to buy these boards We'll need a lot of that little skinny tape to stick with pictures on, like 10, 15 rolls, I don't know how many. But with that said, it's open to you guys. Tell us what you wanna do and how you wanna do it. Martin, jump in here. What you gonna do? Yeah, you look guilty, Martin, jump in here. Got the picture up. You're gonna do the General Hatton thing? What are you gonna do?
Well, General Hatton has kinda outgrown his uniform.
You've been in too much porn.
I don't know how that happens, but it's, doesn't sort of fit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we can do something along that line. But, we talked briefly about a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
I've secured a cannon, if the price is right, for 2 days.
Okay.
He's gonna, charge us $250 per day to transport it over, set it up.
Is this coming out of Sumner County?
Yeah, your buddy Robert.
Don't, okay.
And, we found out in January how much powder has gone up, so he's gonna want to be reimbursed for all the shots he fires
Okay,
at a rate of $35 a shot.
okay.
So, that's on the table, but I think maybe we've got a Revolutionary War cannon possible.
Revolutionary War?
Yeah, I was told that.
Okay,
Now, I'm not involved in that,
okay.
but that's 2 things we're working on.
You got $1,000 right now, okay? Start with,
For his operation?
right now,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
What else? Anything?
Well, I think we can get some people to, portray different characters
Right,
in our history.
uh-huh.
That's gonna take a little work, and we kinda need to know what everybody would want. Other people
You got
maybe.
into Revolutionary War uniforms and people?
We've got that covered. The SAR's coming.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ah,
We talked,
That's where I heard the Revolutionary War cannon,
Yep.
from somebody. I can't
okay,
remember who.
we met yesterday, Diane is compiling a list. Don't you look at me with that, I don't know.
What now? Okay.
She's compiling a list of all the Revolutionary War people that came to Wilson County and are buried here in Wilson County. Hopefully, that we can have that on a.
Kenny Rich, was he involved with the Lamont Hunters reenactments?
He was, yes.
Reckon he could get
I'll
get
get hold of
somebody
it.
together
I'll
to do
get hold of
some
it.
outfits like that.
Okay, I guess so. Let's just start over here. Anybody else got ideas, things, whatever? Yes, sir. Jump up here and tell us.
I'm Ronnie Jones. I'm Ron and Larry and myself. We're volunteers at Fiddler's Grove
Yes,
Train
sir.
Museum. And you know, in the early years, the trains brought a lot of freight in. You know, before tractor trailer trucks came
Correct,
along.
correct.
And before that, it was wagons.
That's correct.
And the Shenandoah Mills, just off the square,
Correct.
used to be a station. And I think that the train used to back down there and unload passengers and freight right there.
I know it did. I had to unload a boxcar load of potatoes when I was a senior in high school.
Okay, and so we're gonna come up with a lot of old black and white photographs of trains, depots from all over the county, so.
Tennessee State Library and Archives has a website, and they've got 1,100 photographs of Wilson County on there, and there's some of them on that, so.
Is that the TIVA?
Yeah.
We can get you on.
Larry, I didn't see you over there. Yeah.
We
And I
also-
think somebody's gonna be running the railroad museum out there.
Not cut mine.
Okay, anybody else back here?
Is
Here,
there
sir?
interest with the train museum doing a
Tell us
temporary
what-
G scale
What?
layout
Where?
in the yard in front of the thing?
Outdoors?
Yeah.
There's a guy.
I can do that.
Put a big, G scale rail,
Mhm.
stuff about that big. He's got a ton of
So
stuff already.
put it out in the yard?
Put it in the yard out in front.
Okay.
Put a little loot and some other stuff in, maybe have a train running out there outside.
That'd be great, yeah.
Sorry, perfect. Go ahead.
Jerry, we got a lady representing Mary Harris here.
Yeah, we coming over.
We gotta know how you was going.
We'll have tractors and engines displayed around the sawmill shed out there. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be able to run the sawmill.
I don't think so.
Can we run it without the blade on it? With a putt?
I doubt it.
Okay.
What we'll probably end up doing is we'll have the tractors and the engines around it, and it
Okay.
can explain to sawmill.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah, getting workers and logs and the rest of that's getting kinda hard to do.
Understand. We're starting over here, ma'am. Did you have something to bring to the table?
I'm here for Cumberland.
You heard from
There's your
Cumberland?
Cumberland, right here.
Well, we just spoke about Cumberland a minute ago, and somewhere, I think it was in the book we looked at yesterday, the number of congressmen, senators. Do you have that data in your head where you can share it with us?
Not off the top of my head, but I have it back in my house.
Well, what we've done, talk a little about what we're doing, and everybody now giving feedback of what they're kind of bringing to the table. Would you share anything that you or President Stone?
I've been talking with Rusty Richardson. Rusty,
Rusty,
He and I have
correct.
been working together, and we're gonna definitely do one on all of the governors, congressmen, everyone. We're gonna do one probably on all of the buildings, the sports teams we've had, talk about the 1960. And
Did you say the 1960s or 1860s?
1916.
Okay.
football.
Oh, yeah.
The largest balls.
You remember when you played on?
People always, it's not nice to make fun of them.
They had cows out there too.
Pardon?
They had cows out there on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Cow patties.
Would it be possible to have some of the, like, the old Phoenix, student books, like, on display, sometimes where people can't touch them, but have like a display like that?
We- We got a little money, we can have a limited amount of reprints done, so. If you can get with me on that, that would be my business, sorry. The Mary Harris folks, what do you guys, y'all got ideas? What,
Well, I just know I'm supposed to be representing.
okay,
But not to get a full what's going on, you will be touring the chapel. Y'all will be
That's correct.
coming
That's
to the
correct.
chapel. You're gonna be coming inside the chapel.
you wanna take charge of the chapel and give a tour and say what it was and so forth?
I don't mind.
That's fine, perfect. You agree? I think it's great, yeah. Can we zoom, where do you go? I was kinda hoping to zoom in a little bit there, but yes, ma'am, just do
Just
that.
because it is
The
the
history
old-
of it?
The history of it, and it's the oldest standing building in this county.
Yeah, if
Well,
you,
Yeah,
if you can get some old photographs,
yeah. Yeah,
Of-
they might have some, well, we got like some of the bricks that they made.
okay,
We got some of the material that they, especially the wood.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, that they, dealt with at that time.
If-
Um,
if you can do photographs, we'll provide the boarding, this whiteboard out here, and
Mhm.
stick photos on it, you know.
mhm.
Get it labeled, whatever you want, let me know, and we'll make that happen, okay?
Okay.
All right, schools, talk about schools. And we gotta get, Wilson County Training School, we gotta get some photos there.
Right, right.
Have
And
to.
Market Street too?
Market Street,
Yeah.
gotta have that.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure about the others, but I know every year Watertown High School the students do like a historic walk through the square, and they dress up as historic figures from Watertown and like have a whole speech about who they are, kind of like almost like a living wax museum. I am sure that Ms. Pope would love to have her students participate in that.
I got two people I met with yesterday, and they're both shaking their heads. We're talking about dozens of people in the period of time.
Yeah, Watertown High School. does it
Anybody
every
else
year.
in period of time, you know? So you think we can recruit those folks?
They're students, but yeah, I'm sure that the theater
You
teacher
think
would.
you can recruit those
Yeah,
folks?
sure, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, okay.
So that would, as far as like community members that are
Okay.
talking about the different communities, that would be for Watertown.
What do we do to get
I
art
think we could do a
class?
contest, but I would need parameters and like dates, like
Well, the
when does it need to
parameters
be
are
turned
from
in?
Smith County line to the Davidson County line.
I mean, like, how
river,
big are we
Sea
talking, what kind of
Farm.
media?
Pardon?
Like, how big they are, how big are we talking?
What kind of idea of, what would you want? So with that one, the state did 3.
They did 3, yes.
So are you wanting one? Are you
One
wanting
for the county.
just one
yes.
main
Mhm.
one? Okay, so for that, you wanna kinda bring in a little bit of everywhere into this.
Courthouses, churches, team of wagons, you know, a little bit about, what does state seal have on it? Well, the county seal's got an old ball eagle, state
It's got-
seal's
it's
got
got the old-
agriculture, commerce, what else?
It's all, it's two.
Just 2?
It's got the
Okay.
old pile thing up.
Sir?
It's got the plow.
plow.
Yeah.
You know, that's something somebody else needs to dream of, because I'm criticized enough.
Well, if we did I mean, I think we could do a contest, they could vote, you could have like the different, like first, second, third, like those could be displayed somewhere, but then have the
Sure.
one that wins. The kids would need a little bit of direction.
Hey, how many schools we got? High school? Art
High
classes?
schools.
How many art classes?
It would depend on the school, but every high school has at least like art 1 and art 2. I mean,
We
there's
got
quite a few.
5
art
schools?
classes. 5 high schools.
Yeah. Green Hill even has art AP 3 and 4.
Pardon?
Yeah, Green Hill offers art AP 3 and 4. I'm actually texting with somebody to ask if they do
I don't know.
graphic design.
I don't know
At
what
Green Hill,
I don't know
think
what
they
the
do.
cost would be, but it looks to me like that if each school could come up with a design in competition, we print a limited number of each design and have for display.
And Scott, I think before this goes to that, and that's something that, you know, maybe come by and a couple people, if you don't come by the office and talk with Brittany and everything, and we can kind of help figure out what kind of color scheme are you thinking about, you know, similar fonts. That way, if you've got marketing, some guidelines, and like I say, marketing going across of everything, and then this, as great as it may be, is something totally out of left field from what everything else that you're seeing. I think, like I said, it's state.
You're out of my league. Who can pick that up and run with it?
I mean, I'd be happy to send it to help.
Yeah, we can sit
Kind
down.
of, yeah,
I mean,
info.
if you guys have an idea of,
Y'all swap names and numbers. Okay?
Jason.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I love your office over here.
Appreciate it.
We'll say if every school that participated did something similar to that, and you wanted to make it more related to what we're doing, you could pick a design that they've done on each one of their posters, their design, and make one for the whole thing, and then do one of each one of theirs, you know, to have a
Well, yeah,
paper.
I was thinking if
But
we
that
got
would be
money,
neat.
when I dreamed up doing this, and I told the steering committee in session, that we were gonna need a little, she gave me a hard time just staring at me. That I was gonna need a little money to do this, and they said, how much? I said, I have no idea, probably $25,000, I don't know, it's training, it's signage, it's these type of things to get people tour through the Grove and see historical stuff, and they appropriate $30,000. And I've talked to Aaron, I'm ready to start obligating that funds as soon as we know, and if, you know, we need to obligate, if we come up with 5 different designs with the same kind of criteria, you know, we put $250 each or something, and have them for.
We could even come up with like the framing and stuff that's on that, so all that stuff standardized, and then like what they put in the individual content in the inside of the frame.
Yeah.
And then maybe have some kind of a panel of people that would judge it, you know, find some local.
You mean judge
Local
it,
people,
judge it on
celebrities.
site?
What's that?
Judge it on site? That 5
Yeah,
days?
yeah, then name the one, or we could do it at an event prior, maybe even during the fair, and then that way, we have it to print, ready to go for October.
In case you don't know, Scott Sayers over here, I like that smile back there. He, kinda is, would you call him the operation guy for the fair? He pushes the cookers.
Only for the Phillips Grove.
That's what I'm talking about, in Phillips Grove, he sets up the cooks and the possum catchers and all that at the fair there, so he's the go-to guy.
Groundhog Wrangler.
Groundhog Wrangler. You need to come out mine.
Squirrel cooker.
Help. Sue, jump in here for my conversation yesterday, please.
Is it okay if I play something now?
You can do anything you wanna do.
Okay.
We're still idea storming, we're
How
trying to
many-
make sure we got enough stuff.
How
that-
many of you were involved in the 200th anniversary celebration that we had? No, you were. You were.
You're pretty old.
If you,
I'm talking about.
Jason, quick, dude.
I'm telling you, if you remember, at that time, Tom Grant, who was on the Ralph Emery show for years and years on Channel 4, wrote a song about Wilson County. And he got children from Lakeview Elementary to come and sing backup on that song. And I have that song, and I'm gonna play it for you. And Tom said he'd be happy to come out on that Saturday, and we're trying to locate some of those students. Now, they were probably 4th or 5th graders then, so I'm not gonna say how old they are now. But if any of you know how we can get in touch with them, Diane's been working with the school, we've been trying to find annuals to see if we can find something. We cannot find a list of those students, and Tom thought it would be great if we could have especially this one little girl that sings at the very beginning. Just a very sweet little voice. Let me pull it back up. I had it in Jerry talked so long, I lost it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's my district, so I can, if you got the beginnings of a list, I can.
You need to go to the library and you need to look at the annuals, that's all you gotta do.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
These PA systems, I'm put it, my son, but I'm with you.
Okay. I can do that.
25 years ago.
Wilson County is a beautiful place to live. Great people, lots to do, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. We now have a new civic center being built, and soon we'll even have a NASCAR racetrack. Not everybody likes to see all this growth and change, but for better or worse, that's progress, and it's kind of hard to stop. But one thing we all do agree on is that we still strive to teach our children the values that have helped us survive this long. Things like pride in their community and their country, and that hometown spirit, love and respect for their fellow man, no matter what his or her background might be. And to believe in God, honesty and family, and waking up every day to the task of maintaining this planet, the quality of the air we breathe, the vital water supply, and the soil that grows and feeds the land, so that future generations in Wilson County can experience what our forefathers wanted for us: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We'd sure love to be there when you open this time capsule. We'd love to meet you and your families. I'm sure we'd have lots to talk about. But right now, it's our pleasure to pass this little sample of your history and life as we lived it along to you. We, as your ancestors, would like to welcome you to Wilson County, 1999. If you've ever thought of heaven as the sun begins to set, with the painted sky behind the cedar forest silhouette, and if you look around and say this is as good as it can get, as you whistle some old Dixie melody, or if you see a highway marker and you pull
our history.
Sue, wouldn't that be nice to have played ever so often in the building where they come in for the exhibits?
Why not?
Why not?
I think that would be
Tom
great.
Grant and another gentleman, I don't remember his name, they wrote this song. And the other gentleman's granddaughter is the little girl that sings at the very first. So we're trying to track these down. If you know anybody that was there, I think I saw 3 or 4 hands
Lakeview?
that celebrated in that.
Lakeview?
Lakeview,
Yeah.
They
Lakeview.
might be
I can work on it.
Is Tom still able to perform any of that?
Tom is going to be there that day.
Could we have another small group of children to sing with him that day that would represent
Possibly.
this time
But when you
period?
think about this is
I think that would
25
be
years
neat.
ago, and some of us are still here to tell about it. Thank goodness. I just wanted everybody to hear that, because I think it's just so touching, and it really gives our history of our county and mentions all over Wilson County.
It might be hard to do, but what if they had some students that were in a choir from different schools to come together and represent a lot of schools? Yeah.
Hey, this whole thing about the kids.
Yeah, and it's
It
all
is.
about the whole
About us,
county.
you know,
It's
it's
about
about
the whole
about-
county.
About teaching, you know, the generation. Lauren, will you go next, and after you go, would you put this on your color copier back there and make her about 10 copies? If she has an example to share with,
Yeah,
please, okay.
yeah.
You got ideas, Lauren? That's Lauren, Commissioner Lauren Reeves right there.
What if after we put together all the different exhibits,
Okay?
that we put together a scavenger hunt that adults can do, kids could do, you know, find, you know, this board, find, you know, this piece of information. And then you could have them, you know, especially if you have the kids, it would give them an activity to do when you have the 4th graders show up. So you could do it.
Half-page cards that we call a passport, and we
Okay.
can put all the different stations that we're gonna have set up on it.
Mhm.
When they go there, they can find something, write a piece of information down, or we give them a stamp.
Right.
Once they have it completed, we would like to give them some form of a, like door prize or scavenger hunt prize or whatever.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. But you could, I mean, you could do it on the 26th
They're kind of
too,
the
which
same
is,
thing, they're
yeah,
just get
right.
back to the kids
Yeah,
that
but you
way.
could use the same thing on the 26th too. And I mean, maybe you could get visitors to actually do it, put their name on it, turn it in, and then maybe they could win one of the posters.
Well, we were looking
Make-
yesterday on Google, little
With like a wooden nickel.
wooden nickel type thing, but about the size of half a
Yeah.
dollar, and has the county stamped on it and all that sort of thing.
Well, that's how you, I mean, you'd be able to get the public to get, you know,
Right, right.
get more involved that way, I think, if they turn it in, you know, almost like they do it like a raffle, you know, I mean, just draw somebody.
Do you think somebody in the business community could help us, like, get together, maybe local businesses might give something that we could offer as bigger prizes to get people involved? Like, you know, might be able to win a this or that, I mean, that.
A Mercedes?
I mean, I just think
I
that.
would think so, I think we could probably talk to the chambers, I would think,
Yeah.
yeah, and the chambers could talk to their membership.
Okay. Ms. Linda? Your turn. What do
Oh,
you,
I thought I'd run my mouth enough.
can we make all these boards at your place, or what do we need? We make them down there? I know you had, I swear I made this one, but it was just out of,
Yeah.
you know.
You get the right boards and the glue and the tape, whatever,
Believe,
we'll get it done.
I'll get the PO, get the boards
Yeah.
done, you'll
And
get,
you make sure you get where I can get a PO for Creative Graphic to run the books off too.
okay, well, I was down there yesterday about this,
Yeah.
get this.
Sure,
price
she's supposed to be getting me a price.
out. Okay. Miss Rhonda, you own the Fielder's Grove, so what do you got to share with us?
Well, we're trying to share it as much as we can with everybody that comes through Fielder's Grove. Ms. Weathers spoke the other day for you to kind of share our 25 coming up, and we're willing to do whatever we can, but on the Thursday, Friday, we'll have to have a structured tour to get that many kids through there. We'll have to know exactly who's gonna be there and to coordinate
What do we
it.
need, what you've done is, what do we need to do? Have docents, have
Yeah, we'll have to
tour
have,
guides?
yes, we'll have to have a
volunteers?
lot of volunteers and we'll definitely need a lot more volunteers than normal for 1,000 kids. The most we've ever had through was 500, I think, in a day, and that was for the History Day. So, we were definitely gonna have a lot of
How do we get that many volunteers?
Question, how many is a good working number in a group? 25, 30,
25.
something like that? Okay, I was going from Farm Day, I've worked there
Yes.
before. Kind of
25
like
is
that, and
best
just,
for us.
okay.
How long is the tour gonna be, do you think?
Um,
How long would it take the kids to go through it?
Our typical tours last like an hour and a half for each group. But, we're gonna have to do we'll have to come up with some numbers, Scott, will help us, I'm sure, with that, to figure out, like, we can do 2 schools, we can do, 2 master gardeners, 2, you know, some of the history stuff, but like gristmill, we only have 1 gristmill, but we might can fix it where we have 2 different places they can speak.
You talking about the water wheel?
Yes.
Doc's gonna run that, but Rufus will bring his grist mill, which is.
Good, that'll be 2 that we could,
And I'm
because we'll
trying to get
need,
David Denny to come and cook little hot water cornbread so people can sample.
I almost think with that kind of, those kind of numbers at Fiddler's Grove, honestly, that starts to eclipse what we can comfortably do with groups for 2025, because what we typically do now, and we would be doing today if it wasn't for the rain, is we'll run them through, and there might be 5 groups that day or 6 groups that day, and each one of us that sets up somewhere in the Grove takes a group, comes in, gives a little 4 to 10 minute thing, depending on how long we've got, and then they go to the next one, and we're just constantly rotating through until everybody's been to all of them. I think with that many of them and the time frames they've got with the bus getting there, getting them back, all that kind of stuff, I think we're gonna have to treat it a little more like we do the fair, and just have people set up in situ doing what they do, and then people can kind of come and go through, where it's not just a set repeated presentation, but it's more of just a demonstration that's ongoing, that they can come in, see it, experience it, walk out. Like the gristmill is a perfect example, because you can take a group of 10, 20, 25 at a time, walk them in one door, they can see it working, somebody can be in there talking to them if they got questions, and then they can walk back out the front porch and keep on their way to where they're going. That's the only way you're gonna get 1,000 people through there in the time frames we're dealing with.
Do we
with
need
busing.
signage made with big red arrows that now go to Station 6 or whatever?
I think that would come into that tour map, the
Yeah.
little, the scavenger
Y'all
hunt,
put
passport
that
card.
together, we
Yeah.
get signage.
And then we could just have those printed and ready to roll,
Yeah.
and they're very, I mean, you could get 2 per page on card stock, so I mean, you can print those out quick and easy. And then that would just be something we could give every single kid that shows up, and just shows them what's there, and then the docent maybe could take them through, so you don't just, you know, you're not just unloading kids and letting them scatter through the grove or whatever, but
Yeah.
they could be led through those stations, but it's not like they're gonna be giving a set presentation every time somebody comes through. It's just gonna be an ongoing thing they're doing, and people can see it, everything. So they could walk through an event like that easily within an hour and have seen every station we wanna set up, I think.
Do you agree with that? An hour?
I would never disagree with him. He helps me too much.
Okay, open to anybody. Anybody have heard other people talk, suggestions, ideas, thoughts?
Is the county covering insurance on this, or is it?
County property, I guess. What insurance you looking for?
I just want to liability.
Liability?
Somebody gets hurt.
We're nonprofit, so.
Yeah, well, I'll check, I don't know.
Yeah. How do you guys?
We go, hey, Lawrence, Breeze,
Signs a waiver or.
Breeze,
Yeah, sorry, I was asking a question, I apologize.
did you hear the question?
I did, that's why I was just asking her as to what they do now currently when they have visitors, as to what the situation is.
Okay,
So it sounds like
What-
it's in a waiver, so.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
all-
schools usually have insurance when they
Right.
bring the kids, so we don't have to worry about that. But
Okay.
like if we have an event,
Right.
usually that event
Casey.
would have the insurance.
in case you don't know,
Gotcha.
Lauren Breeze, Commissioner Breeze is the troubleshooter for the commission here, so. Will you check on that, Lauren?
Okay, yeah.
Check on the
I don't
insurance?
know, yeah, I will check on insurance, but.
I may stuck my toe out there, and make copies. Anybody got anything else? Hold it back, yes, sir.
These boards, will the pictures just be thumbtacked to them, or how will we mount
The
them?
ones we made out here has a little thin double back tape, you put it on there, you know, and just stick the picture on it, that's what this is. Now, you look at it, pull a little bit corner, if there's a better way to do it,
That's about the best way to do it.
we threw those together down there.
Now, I did talk to, Amy about putting it on a little stiffer paper, so
Uh-huh.
it's not so flimsy like you would in a book, to make it
Like
on
a cardstock
Yeah,
type
something,
stuff?
I told her to come up with something,
Okay,
so it would be, hold up a lot better, instead of curling like if it's raining or something, and
sure,
it start
sure,
curling up,
sure.
so make it a little hard
Okay.
stuff.
Anybody else got anything? Don't wanna hold you up?
I think that we really need to be cognizant going into the next couple of months. Any reach you have with potential volunteers is gonna be essential to getting this off the ground. We're gonna have to have some form of a volunteer coordination system together, so as these people are coming in, we have exactly, here's the roles we've got available, here's what we need. I mean, we're talking like, if we're parking people over there where the midway normally is, that are coming into the event, and then we're either using our tractor trolleys to get them down to the starting point where we'll have all of the boards and everything. Or if we're just gonna have people directing through, we're gonna have tour guides, we're gonna have like, I thought maybe the JROTC, if we could talk to them at the schools to help out with like the military exhibit and the World War II museum, those kind of things. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, that's just one group I'm thinking that we're to reach out to, but if there's any groups that you have touched to, getting the dates in front of them now, start talking about like what we can do to try to potentially have set volunteer rosters, because, the last thing we wanna do is invite everybody to our, not a birthday, but our commemorative event, and it, just be a cluster nightmare of nobody knowing what to do or where they're going, so.
Is the 24th and 25th open to everyone, or is it just for the kids?
Probably, but
Because
we
well,
were thinking the kids that studied Tennessee history, which I understand is fourth grade, that's been a day or two since I've been.
Okay, so I was gonna say, if it's open to the community and we're trying to get all those kids through Fiddler, that's a lot of people.
So I think Saturday would just be the community.
Our job is to work magic here,
Well, and the classes cap at 25. So
Okay.
your like homeroom teacher would have no more than 25 students, but like Rutland has like 10 fourth grade classes, and that's just one school.
Yeah.
Whereas like Carroll Oakland has 2.
What's
So it
your
just really just
suggestion then?
depends.
I don't wanna cut any schools out, what's your suggestion?
No, I'm not saying we should cut them out. I'm just, it's like logistically, do we take half of Rutland, just like how do you?
Well, we got 2
They do it for
days.
Farm Day.
I'm
They
sorry?
bring the second graders in heats from different schools on Farm Day and make it work.
That would just be we would just have to use that as the template
Yeah.
and just say we're doing it this
I
way,
can talk
and
to
then,
Bonnie.
yep.
How many students?
She's
will
over
with
Farm
us?
Day.
Bonnie.
She's our Bonnie Holman, she's our CTE coordinator, supervisor.
Bonnie Bell. Oh,
How many
She went-
students can
she
you
went-
bring with us?
she went to school across my house, been there several times.
I'm usually, I would imagine 50-ish, cause I know
So
when we
you would
took,
be about 2 classes per bus.
yeah. I'd say that's
Could,
big.
could you do 2 classes in a tour group without
I mean,
them being disorganized?
During the fair, at any given time, for instance, like when the Sawmill will be running on a Saturday morning during the fair, you might have a group of anywhere from 50 to 100 people kind of standing in the periphery around it, watching something like that. So the key to that is just not crowding stations in and trying to do too many. Like having the grist mill is a perfect one, having the train museum, and like if there's some display we could be done out in the front yard there, at the train museum, something around the tractor supply, things. Those are, you're walking people through in such a way that they've got some time to experience that thing that we're showing them. If we put together a craftsman barn or something, there's people in there working, we've got a broom maker and all that kind of stuff. Those are things that people could be walking by and experiencing. And maybe it's just a matter of giving the teachers, the homeroom teachers, like, here's the map, here's the events that are going on. And then maybe they even direct their own, like, I know we've talked about this, and this in class. I'm gonna go take them and show them these things first. Cause then it's just, they're there on the grounds, they're together operating as a group, and they're able to go see what they wanna see. And then, but especially giving them, they need to be able to walk through that 4-H FFA building, because that's where all the display boards will be. They'll need time to kind of walk through
Start
there.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
At headquarters.
Exactly. And then just kind of strike out from there. And then that's also easier to coordinate bus going through the drop-in.
Terry, how long do we anticipate the students being at each station?
Well, I heard the term ready to go an hour and a half for the whole tour, so I guess 10 minutes to the station.
Again, just depending on how we end up doing with Bonnie. We'd get Bonnie Holman and how she runs the Ag Days, because it always runs smooth. She does a great job with it. Everybody kind of rotates through, and I think we just work with that model.
Can we set up separate meetings with Bonnie and separate meetings with the art folks and the ROTC folks and band folks?
Like one meeting for all of those people?
Well, I don't care. You Wilson County Schools, do it the way you want to, we'll show up.
And what does she think about doing the choir, like,
So as far as that goes, I think depending on, especially when we're talking elementary schools, what they do with their kids is not everybody does the same thing. But I think if we gave the music to all of the teachers, K-12, and the kids learn the songs and then told them, this is when we're getting together, and then just let the kids like volunteer and come, I think you'd get, like your high school like actually have choirs, they would probably come. And then as far as your elementary kids, whoever's parents can get them there, and that way you would have representation from all of the schools. You could have a sign up so you at least have a general idea about how many people are coming, or how many kids are gonna be there. But that way you would have all of, all grade levels, all schools, they'd have the opportunity to come. And it wouldn't be, like, they could learn it during class, it wouldn't take away from anything. That would.
Are you
give
talking
them
about the
another-
What
program on
about-
Saturday?
Yeah, well, when Tom Grant would be there, the ones that
I'll
would sing
have
with
to
him.
check with that.
Hmm.
I'll have to check with Tom and see. We haven't really scheduled what we're going to do on that Saturday, have we?
I was just wondering
Not
if,
yet,
like,
but we-
two students from maybe in the fourth grade or something from each
Or they
school
could do
that
that
sang
too,
with
I mean, you
him.
could have,
Be at the pavilion.
I think we get close to knowing what all the elements will be here.
Uh-huh.
you want the bands performing on the 26th, or all 3 days?
The 26th, specifically, definitely 26th. If they won't perform any other time, that's fine too.
No.
All right, what else? Anybody?
When we have,
Yes, sir.
school groups come through the Grove and come through the museum, usually, of course, the teachers with them.
Right.
And then they have a few chaperones, parents.
Right.
That would help keep them together, and kind of organize. Otherwise, they're gonna be going everywhere.
You're talking about herders.
Yeah.
Get on there, kid. I agree.
They will get lost. We
Yes,
had
sir.
one little girl, she hid in the caboose back around the corner. And when they left, I thought there was another little girl. And I went back there and she was standing straight up in the corner. I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I didn't get to see everything." So, took a little extra time and made sure she saw it real good.
Has anybody got anything else they wanna relate to the meeting any? Diane, anything else? Thank you for coming, thank you for sharing. We'll start, Sue's taking notes, we'll start putting agenda together, maybe whatever. We'll do an on-call meeting sometime out, 30, 40 days out, and everybody's had time to think and find volunteers and that kind of stuff, so. And you find out what you wanna do, and you give me a call, okay? Anything else, anybody? Thank you so much for coming. And Lauren, will you make those copies, please, ma'am? So she'll have them.